Hey, what's going on, guys? John here from the No Shame Income blog, and today I'm actually going to be doing a product review for a product called the StrADegy system by Amanda Bond. There's a reason I emphasize the ad part, and that's because this is a course all about Facebook ads. So I actually read through an article by this girl Amanda. I was really enticed by what she was doing and the messaging that she kind of conveyed, and I decided to pick up this program. So I wanted to give you guys kind of an in-depth look if maybe this is something you've been considering. I haven't been doing a lot of product reviews, and I wanted to crank out a video here today for Friday, and I thought this would be a good one to do a video on because it's not a cheap course, you know, not some like $27 product or something like that. And in reality, this is something that I think a lot of people, if you are running advertising in any form, I think could be something that you could implement into your own strategy. So before we actually dive into today's video, if you guys are brand new here on the channel, or even if you're a returning, returning subscriber, be sure to throw me a thumbs up on the video. If you actually go back and leave me a comment on the video, I will even come back and reply to your comment. And in addition, if you are new here on the channel, be sure to subscribe as I release new videos each and every week. So let's dive into the review. Alright, so really what I wanted to cover today is, again, this course that Amanda Bond put out. I actually was working, to give a little background, I was working with some folks that have been helping me with my own Facebook ads. And, the guys that I've been working with, we were doing kind of a 50-50 partnership. I'm going to kind of leave them out of this. But more or less, one of them said to me, hey, you should take a look at this article. And I ended up on the StrAdegist.com, and you can see if you go to this website, Amanda has put together basically a 4-part article series that kind of talks about the state of Facebook ads. You know, there's a lot of people right now that are going out there and saying, hey, I spent all this money on Facebook ads and it's not working. Yet you've got a lot of these other people that are like praising it like it's the best thing in the world, and they're making all this money by, doing stuff with Facebook advertising. And she really goes into a lot of in-depth stuff around some of the things that she's seen from running ads herself, from what the industry is doing, a lot of the trends. And ultimately, she kind of came up with this idea around what she calls bro marketers. So really a bro marketer would be someone that, you'll see this ad that just appears in your newsfeed, and they're inviting you to a webinar, and you have no idea who they are, and they're kind of just immediately trying to get you to go look at their offer, so to speak, and they're not really taking that time to get to know you or build a little bit of more of a relationship or build any value. They're just taking someone who's completely cold, doesn't know your brand, doesn't know who you are in any regard, and is immediately trying to get you to go watch this hour-long presentation, and then hopefully they'll buy your stuff, right? So I kind of agreed with this. It really jived a lot in my head. Now, while I have done some advertising where I brought people to the traditional ebook or PDF, and I have had some success selling some of my programs, I've also done a lot with webinars, but most of that was done through people that maybe had already bought a product of mine, or I was hitting them, people on my existing email list. And people would always tell me, hey, the conversion to get someone into a webinar is very high, right? If you're going and spending money on Facebook ads, you could be spending a lot, right? Like, people would say, oh yeah, it's normal to spend like $10 to get someone on a webinar. And I'm thinking to myself, like, man, I don't want to spend $10 for every single person. On the flip side of that, though, is, if you spend $500 and, all these people are coming through, and then one person bought, let's say for $1,000 or $997, is the typical course price, this could in reality still be profitable. So what she kind of goes after is these people that are all about just getting as many people into their sales process as possible. Like, they don't care whether or not they're the right fit. They just want to get like as many people in as possible. And they know that based on those numbers, they're going to hopefully get a percentage of them to buy. And if they do that right, they could be feeding $1 into their ads and maybe making $2 or $3 out based on knowing that, hey, if I put this much into my ads, I'm going to make this much out from the people who do buy. Now, the beauty of her system is really it's more about finding people. I'm not going to go through this whole article, but I will link it in the video. I do highly suggest you read about it. You read through this whole thing and read about her like bro marketing, go through everything. But ultimately what she's getting at is her program she calls the StrADegy system, and that's what I wanted to go through in this video. And the idea of this whole program is to kind of run Facebook ads in 3 different phases. So inside of her program, she actually has what she calls the foundational phase, and this is kind of explaining the whole system. And then you have what's called the close, commit, and connect phase. Now, actually, these don't happen in this order. Basically, you're getting someone to connect with you. And in this particular example, let's say you put out an ad where you've got a video and it's talking about a specific topic that relates to what you're selling, right? Like maybe it's an online course. And in my case, I sell digital marketing products around like, agency training. So let's say I put out a video and I show off like this amazing proposal template, and I don't ask for anything in return. I just say, hey, here's this really cool thing. If you want to go download it, maybe here's a link. Keep it very light. But what I could do is then take those people who actually engaged with that video, maybe anybody who watched it for more than a few seconds or spent some time actually engaging with my content, I could now get them to try to commit to going and doing something bigger. Now, this would be the opportunity where I get them to go look at that ebook or look at that webinar or something else that's going to ultimately get them to buy my product. Now, the beauty of this system is that once they've actually gone and done this, I can now actually go out and run additional ads to re-engage with those people, right? So let's say they did watch my webinar, they see what my offer is all about, but they didn't buy. I could now have retargeting ads that push them on the close, and I hit them with several objections. So she actually builds this out where you're kind of going backwards through the whole solution. She actually has you building out the close ads first, which are basically where you're going to be getting most of your sales, hopefully, or really pushing, getting people to see, hey, this is something that I was kind of, wondering about, and this is why I didn't buy. And maybe you're hitting them with these objections and defeating those mindsets around why they may not have purchased. And you're also reminding them that, hey, like here's an opportunity to go buy this thing, yada, yada. And then you're also doing your commit and connect phases, which is where you're really like building up the relationship and getting them to go see what it is you ultimately have. Now, what I'll first say is that this product is really made for someone in a very specific state. If you don't have like an online course or an online product, this literally isn't even for you. In fact, if you go to the end of her articles, I'm just going to browse through this. I thought this was really cool how she did this, is as you go through and you get to the very last page of this, before you even get any information on this particular program, she asks you several questions so you're qualified to even be someone that would make sense for this product. So I think it's on this last page. So she asks you, do you already have an offer that sells? Is there something that people are paying for that you have an offer, right? So if you don't have an offer, you have like, maybe you're trying to figure out how to go create your first product or your online course or whatever it is, this is not a product for you. If you're marking no on this, then no, this isn't going to be the right fit for you. Do you want to make more of an impact selling more of whatever you have? Of course you do, right? Do you sell to people that are on Facebook, which most people are on Facebook? Then yes. Do you have additional money to invest in your advertising? If you're like, oh, well, I can only spend, I can't even spend money on Facebook, or I can only spend $5 a day. This also is not for you, right? So she was like, if you're a hell yes to all of these things, meaning you have a product, you want to sell more of what you have, you can sell it to people that are on Facebook, and you have money to invest in paid advertising, then yes, this is going to be a good product. So I spent some time, and I've gone about halfway through this, and I've started implementing some of this, and I'll actually show you guys. Maybe I'll pull up an example of some of the stuff that I've done. And I'm not going to go too deep into it because I don't want to reveal everything, but I'll show you guys the close phase as an example. So she's got this built out in the Thinkific platform, which is a great course platform. I can tell she spent a lot of time putting this together. She kind of explains, as you click through each of the modules, it kind of gives you an idea of what it's all about. And if you go into, say, like the close phase, this is built out into separate modules. So I've 100% completed this initial section. She goes through, and there's very short videos. They're not like these super like hour-long webinars or anything like that. I absolutely hate that stuff. And each of these videos, most of them, she's on talking like face-to-face on the camera, like I'm kind of doing now, half and half. But most of these, it's her talking, and she's also got like really good slides on some of the other ones. The other thing that she did with a lot of these is they're built out pretty well in the sense of like these are mostly videos, but there's some PDFs, like this one breaks down some stuff on doing like some of the math and ROI stuff. And then the other thing that I thought was really cool is that she added some surveys in here, so you're actually kind of reiterating what you're actually working on. So in this case, let's just say you went and made your ads. She asks you all these questions, and you submit them as a survey, and her team will actually get that stuff and could potentially help you. Maybe if you went into the Facebook group and you were like, hey, I'm struggling with my stuff, they could go back and they'll have that submitted to them, and they can potentially help you with feedback. And then, she consistently asks for like feedback through like Typeform, like, hey, what was your biggest takeaway? Was anything confusing for you? So this is really going to help her obviously make the course even better. If there's something that didn't make sense, you're immediately offering that feedback, and it's just going to make the program even better. So everything's really broken down, very simple to use. The other thing I thought was cool is that as opposed to doing videos on showing off how to do specific things inside of Facebook, she has all these little GIF images where it's literally just showing like click here, click there. And anytime any of this stuff gets updated or changed, Facebook is changing all the time. She just simply has to go in and change that GIF. So the instructions for setting all of this up, because of the nature of Facebook, this stuff can be a little bit complex. Thankfully, I've had some experience doing this stuff, but she did lay it all out in a really simple way. So I'm currently in a phase where I'm creating a whole bunch of custom audiences for my connect phase. And that's basically, I think it's the commit phase. And that's, something that takes a lot of time. So she really goes step by step, explaining how to set all this up, and then explaining also why you're doing this stuff and how it's all going to kind of come to fruition at the end. So this course wasn't cheap. When you do get the invite, this particular product, I believe, she did like a payment plan where you could pay, I think it was $397 over several payments. And if you do that, I forget the exact amount on it, but it would come out a little bit more than the full pay. I ended up going with the full pay because clearly I have the money. I'd rather not pay more money just because I'd rather pay it over time. So I coughed up the full amount, and I believe that was $1,297. So this is not a cheap program, but really I felt, for my circumstance that after running some ads, I've spent a little over $8,000 on Facebook ads. This was going to be something that could help me get more out of my marketing dollars. And so far, it really makes sense for what it is I'm doing, right? If you have an offer that has already been proven to sell and you're looking for some help scaling that offer, I think this whole strategy is definitely really going to help you. Now, she kind of explains it again in this article in a very like high level overview way, but you don't get all the little steps. Like she's not showing you exactly like do this, do this, do this, do this. It's kind of just telling you without actually showing you. So I think she put this together in a really great way. In fact, I'm fairly like nearly 99% positive she probably followed Andre Chaperon's model of what he calls the sphere of influence. So this whole entire email kind of blog strategy that she put together here with these 5 parts, if you read through all of these and then this makes sense to you and what I've said in this video makes sense to you, then obviously you're going to be someone that's going to decide to go and buy this product. Now, I'm actually not even an affiliate of this. I just thought I'd put this together because honestly, it's a good product, and I thought she did a good job putting it together. I talked to one of her students who, believe it or not, I had actually done some video training content for at one point, and she said that she was in one of her past programs and had asked her about this one, and I guess it was just like an enhanced version of some stuff that she sold many years ago, and I can clearly see that from the quality of the content. So anyway, I thought I would show you guys. I'm going to pull up my Google Drive, and I have a folder where I've been working on some of my ad stuff, and I just thought I'd show you like an example of how I've been doing some of my close ads, which is what I've been learning in the course. So I'll give you an example of like one ad. So one of the things she talks about is coming up with your objections, right? So I decided that one of the biggest objections people probably have when it comes to buying a course and knowing whether or not this is for them was having the time to actually implement it. A lot of people are still working a 9-to-5 job. They're not sure if they're going to have the time to commit to something like an online course or a program. So what I did is I recorded a video talking about, why or how you're going to be able to come up with the time to basically do what I, teach inside my program. So I say, not sure if you have enough time to implement what we teach inside Agency Scaling Accelerator. So again, this ad is only going to show to someone that has already seen my webinar. They know what my product is. They've learned a little bit about it. They kind of get like, okay, there's this offer on the table. Now, as they're browsing Facebook, they're going to start seeing ads that say, hey, are you not sure if you have enough time to implement what we teach inside Agency Scaling Accelerator? So it's kind of reinvigorating the relationship. And now I kind of talk about like, hey, instead of watching TV shows after work or spending your Sundays as time off, why don't you use that hour lunch break and your weekends and that extra time to get some stuff done, go out there and start working on this consistently each and every day. And, I give them a little bit of motivation and then try to get them to go sign up. And I give them a link here directly to the page where they can go and buy. Now, this is something being delivered to someone at a very specific time. I'm not hitting people like a cold audience who have no idea what Agency Scaling Accelerator is. They, at this point, have already watched my training. They've kind of gotten the gist of it, and now they're going and hopefully seeing these ads because they've taken the time to commit a little bit to what I have to offer. So anyway, I'll leave a link below to the StrADegy.com. And again, if you guys decide that you want to pick up the system, I don't know that there's any affiliate opportunities for this now, but I will leave a link below if I do end up signing up with that. And of course, I'd love to get credit if you do decide to invest in Amanda's, or she likes to call herself Bond, if you invest into Bond's course. And again, I did want to leave this final note is the reason I invested in this system is because I'm specifically working really, really hard and focusing a lot of my time on a new masterclass that I personally put together. Now, if you've been watching my channel, you've been watching my videos, I'm not pushing like one of those Me Too marketing MLM offers. I have an opportunity where you can actually go and watch my webinar that I put together talking about how you can go out there and actually start landing digital marketing clients, basically people that are local business owners, people you want to help run Facebook ads or do SEO, and you can literally start bringing in clients anywhere from $500 to $1,000 or more every single month. So I invite you to go check out below in the description. I've left a link for my #1 recommendation, which is to go check out my webinar, how you can use systems and outsourcers to build your business and really get into a position where you could quit your 9-to-5 job. So anyway, thanks for watching this, and I hope you enjoyed the review, and keep an eye out for more videos in the future. Don't forget to subscribe, and thank you for watching.